For the davening and the laning this morning. Everybody's invited to breakfast, honestly sponsored, and we have the enhanced kollel and the kollel learning. You can learn in the Sukkah. We have enhanced breakfast. We thank Jerry and Sherry Spiel who sponsored the whole week. You know, the learning and the enhanced breakfast. There's a four slam for all people who need healing, and also this morning Menachem Hakel is commemorating a yahrzeit for his mother, Minna Hinda Basirachmiel, the Neshama Shav and Aliyah. Thank you for sponsoring the kollel as well as the enhanced breakfast. Interesting. We have a concept when it comes to Sukkahs, Hamatzar Patim in the Sukkah. If you're in distress, then you're not supposed to eat in the Sukkah. In fact, if you eat in the Sukkah and you're in distress, you're considered a simpleton. So Yisrael Salam asks the question, why is this the only mitzvah of the whole Torah that you're exempt from it? Usually we have a concept, Lefum Tzaragra, the more discomfort, the more the pain, the greater the reward. Why doesn't it apply to Sukkah? Furthermore, Rav Salant asks this question. He says, we're taught that if you're supposed to go into exile, because of Yom Kippur, that if you go into the Sukkah, it's if you're going to exile in Bavel, so you fulfill the obligation of being in exile if you go into the Sukkah. So why is, if you're Mistar, if you're in distress, why are you parting from the Sukkah? Each person must consider the Sukkah as his permanent abode, while his home is only temporary, and if you're sinned and you need exile for repentance, atonement, so he should sit in the Sukkah even if it's cold and freezing and raining, whatever, snowing, whatever it might be. Why is it the fact that this is the case? And you see, on one hand, it's concept of exile. On the other hand, not only that, you're supposed to be in the Sukkah with the finest items and china, whatever. You're supposed to live like you live in your home, even though it's a temporary one. So it seems to be a contradiction. Exile, comfort. What's going on over here? So he answers that if you analyze what's going on, it's the Torah's intent is the Mitzvah of Sukkah is supposed to reminisce of the clouds of glory. And what happened when the Jews left Egypt? It wasn't like a regular exile. Look at what's happening to people from Ukraine. They go into exile. They don't have shoes. They have nothing. Here, when the Jews left Egypt, they had the clouds of glory. They had everything. They had the well. In fact, I just saw recently the well tasted like wine. Whatever you wanted, the man, whatever they wanted. Even the clothing was replenished. It was pressed. It was ironed. They had all the comforts. And that's what we want to recreate on Sukkot, is that we have that experience when God took us, we had all this wonderful things happen to us. If you're sitting in the Sukkah and you're sitting in distress, you're not getting a benefit of the whole Sukkah. The whole Sukkah is supposed to be reminiscent of this pleasant experience, this pleasant exile. If you're sitting kvetching and you're in distress, so now you're not supposed to be sitting in the Sukkah. It's the opposite. You're getting pleasure. You have to get pleasure out of the Sukkah. That's the key word. You got to get pleasure out of the Sukkah. If you're not getting that, you're called a simpleton if you stay there. And finally, I think Lubavitcher Rabbi says, Messiah, that somebody who is in pain, who is in distress, Messiah part, if you want to get rid of it, then you stay in the Sukkah. That's how he interprets it.
That why?
Hamasiah, if you're in distress, what's the word? Hamasiah patim in a sukkah. He said, if you are in distress, patim, how do you get rid of it? Min a sukkah. From being in the sukkah, you get rid of all distress, all pains from the sukkah. Have a wonderful Shabbos. Have a good night.